and we are going to continue our E3 coverage. Last week, we gave our preview of the E3 2017 press conferences, what the press conference schedule, and what games have been announced that will be shown at each of the press conferences. But this week, we are going to give our strategies. If we were the one running the show, and we were in charge of the press conferences, what would we do? So this is not a prediction show. That will come later of what we predict will happen. So this is what we would do if we were in charge. So we're going to start with the first press conference that will be on Saturday of E3 weekend, E3 week. It's moving earlier. So EA is the first one up with their press conferences. Again, they did announce that they are going to have Battlefront 2. They're going to have their sports games, Madden 18, FIFA, and the new Need for Speed game. So now you guys are the executives at EA. You're planning your EA press conference. How would you run your conference? What would be your strategy? Starting with you, Mo. What would you do? You're in charge of EA. You have all these EA games. Not a prediction, just now you're running the show. Right. What would you do?
I'd actually like that I would actually definitely start the show with Star Wars. So that's a common for them, but it's a pretty big name, and also trying to fix all the mess ups from the previous game. That's what I would start with, to show basically, hey, this is what we fixed. This is what's coming out. Look at us. This is what we're doing. We got a new team. This is our team. Here's the team. Let them explain the game. Game on, because you have to have explanation of, okay, this is what we're doing to get you guys back into our Star Wars corner. I'm sorry that we fucked up. Like that. Start out because we're talking about EA. What I would do differently is definitely the sports segment of EA. I would cut away from all the athletes that they bring.
Oh, they bring athletes. So if you're running the show, you wouldn't want to have a big athlete that you want to pay to get on stage?
No, because it makes the segment run. I guess, I don't know if that's for the time.
No, because ESPN will then cover it because...
Oh, okay.
You put Tim Tebow up there and all of a sudden, okay, there's a little blurb on SportsCenter. That's the only reason.
It feels so boring to me.
But that's them trying to cater to people that they don't think are going to watch.
Yeah.
And if you're one of those guys that's drunk in a bar and you don't have an Xbox and you didn't even know what E3 was, all of a sudden you go, oh my god, Madden 18's coming out next month?
How the fuck do you not know what E3 is? What the fuck's wrong with you?
How the fuck do you not know? How the fuck do you know that Madden's not coming out?
Well, here's the other thing.
Every August.
Here's the best part though. If you're not in the know like that, then why the fuck would you care when you do find out? Oh, there's a new Madden game? I don't care. I still am not going to go spend $400 for a new system, $60 for the game, and then still not know how to play it because I'm not a gamer.
Tom Brady on the cover.
It's just awkward. Every time they invite the athletes, they go back and forth, and it just feels awkward.
It's very robotic and staged.
Yeah,
it's like Key and Peele, where they get up there.
They rehearsed, It's
North South Carolina State. Yeah, that kind of... They know what they're saying.
So you'd focus on Star Wars, Battlefront 2 or the other Star Wars games? What about Star Wars? What do you focus on?
What other Star Wars games?
I thought
nothing's launched. Right? Yeah, nothing's been announced.
They're working on 3 Star Wars games right now.
Nothing's official.
But
it was just hearsay.
It is official. They showed it last year. They had a little
reel.
Where
you walk out and you're on Tatooine and
and they showed Respawn.
But we still don't know anything about
it. Yeah, if I would definitely want to show something, if they, for the 3 Star Wars games that supposedly that they're working on, we know one of them is a for sure fact thing that's actually happening. That one would have to definitely go first. For anything other than that we're going to showcase, okay, this is the other one we're working on. Boom. Okay, show that one right after. As just like a small clip, something quick, nothing too long. Just to kind of be like, this is not going to be ready because we're focusing all our efforts on the new Battlefront. Once that is completed, we'll show you more. We'll have more to come for you, and then off to the other segments. Because I'm trying to think of what other EA games. The Need for Speed.
Have you been a fan of those games? Have you played any?
Yeah, I actually bought into the last one, and I have pretty good customizations on those cars of mine. I'm actually excited to see what route Need for Speed takes.
What route? What do you take? You're running the show.
I would go. What was the one?
Hot Pursuit.
Most Wanted.
There you go.
Oh wait, is Hot Pursuit something else?
Hot Pursuit was Need for
one.
Speed, but Most Wanted. I
Most
would take
Wanted.
it back to Most Wanted. The mechanics of Most Wanted was just dead on spot. Like for the racing, for the missions that you get, I felt like it was like an actual open world car racing. Getting away from cops was always more exciting than the last. The last one did it okay, but I just felt like it was too easy to just outrun the cops. The cars are too fast. They have the same... No, because I know that, especially now, cops have a lot of upgraded, modified cars now for themselves to catch speeders like that. I would like to see that integrated into a game like that. Because the last game didn't have... They had just regular cops, and they had the tire punctures and
helicopters,
the whole
didn't they, too?
blocks. Yeah. But, I mean, it wasn't... It was fast. Like, I could get away with them easily, especially with a modified car. And they didn't have modified cars. It just felt like I could outrun them, like, pretty 99% of the time. That was a mechanic I would want to fix. But Most Wanted was kind
That was popular.
Yeah.
A lot of people got Most
me.
Wanted.
Bring it back. I would bring that one back. Definitely.
And Rich, you're running the EA press conference. How would you run it?
Well, I'll start with the overall caveat.
Okay.
I'd get rid of E3. That's just me. I don't think that it's effective because you can't control the news cycle. I get what the purpose is with the networking, and now that they're going to open up to fans, and because of what it means to us, I understand it's another Christmas for us, a big holiday for us, but I don't think it's effective because there's so many good games that get overlooked because people either spend more on media or they have better connections because they're a more established... if EA says, hey, IGN, we want to do a special 1 hour live segment with you guys... And then Volition, who does the Saints Row, and now they're doing Agents of Mayhem. I remember seeing that and like, oh my god, it's a non-Saints Row kind of game that they're gonna do. And I'm telling you, a couple months ago, I forgot the thing was even coming out because there's no news about it. But I can tell you all about all the stuff that they're doing in Shadow of Mordor because Volition's not paying for the media standing. So that's why I would get rid of it. Is because if you want to stand out and you want to build up some of these lower tier companies that don't have the same ability to spend on marketing, not having them be in the shadow of everybody else would be helpful.
Or you can be a Nintendo and save money and don't do a press conference.
But
Just
they
do
still
a
are. But
spotlight.
they're still timing it because they know, and it's again.
You have to pay for the booth.
But that's also they're stuck in that same cycle. You might announce something, and it could be a breakthrough in whatever the next Mario game is, or they announce a new Star Fox, and it's finally fixed. It's finally the Star Fox you've been waiting for. But they show
4 games ago.
But they show you some new mechanic, or they announce KOTOR 3 or something, and you're like, oh yeah, fuck Mario, I don't give a shit, right?
Yeah.
Would that not kind of happen? Now, as the months go on and other things trickle out, then you'll come back around to it. But that time you're like, oh, they announced KOTOR 3, so they already won.
So EA is actually sort of going rogue, and they're not in the booth actually there. They actually have their own EA Play. They're doing their own open to the public, play their own games.
But they're still doing it at the same time
in the
to
same
draw
area at the
everybody
same
in.
time.
I liked remember they did the first video game awards here, and they had the whole event over there. And that's a good setup. And if other companies had done that kind of stuff, there's a reason why PAX East and PAX West are so popular. Is because there is a reason to bring all those people in there. But as far as your news breaking kind of stuff, I don't think it's effective to have them all circled around that week of E3 because I think plenty of people, even the upper tier guys, can have stuff get lost in the news cycle.
So you're talking about if you're EA, fuck E3, or just in general, every company should say
in general,
fuck E3.
In general, and if you're one of the big companies, the best way to use that same money is for you to do like the EA Play thing, like they did here, and partner with Jeff Keighley's thing or something else. Do your own thing. Even run a concert series. They love bringing these bands in and stuff. Why don't you do a show at T-Mobile? And then at Mandalay Bay's Convention Center or something, and you take the Mandalay Bay Arena and you do something there. Come over, play the games,
like a tournament in there.
and then at 7:30, so and so's going on stage, and you do that for a weekend. I think that's a much better way to do things.
So that is the end of our E3 strategy segment. Ending with Rich saying fuck E3 press conferences and just fuck E3. So please let us know in the comments below what you feel about that. No, I'm I love it. Fuck E3. It's gotten big, and there was a time where E3 got too big for its own self, for its own good, where they cut it down. It was like in hotel rooms for like a few years, and they were in a airplane hangar, and then they're like, this isn't working. Now it's off to the big, large scale, and again, it might be on its way where it's too.
There's a reason why they're opening up to the public finally, and it's probably because they need the money coming in. Especially if you have people like EA dropping out of it. Nintendo's been out of it for a while. They need other people, but we're all centered there. You tell me, if I was making some AAA title, but I wasn't EA, Activision, Ubisoft, whatever, and I said, hey, IGN, or hey, a couple of the upper tier podcasters and news outlets, we're running something at our development studio. You guys want to come in and play the game for an afternoon and interview us? You think that anybody is going to miss out on that, even if they have to pay for their own hotel and airfare? They're still going to show up because it's going to get them clicks. So why are they all doing it when they're competing with everybody else doing the? But I have something to say. That's dumb to me.
And if you're a big studio, they just don't need E3 at all. I know, like Rockstar, I would not be surprised if they skip. Like, they don't need Red Dead Redemption.
Exactly, that's the perfect example.
Like, we are so big, we're our own fucking E3. When we announce the trailer, we own the cycle. We don't need to compete with any other games. We'll just wait until the summer. Like we said, we'll give you more information in the summer. We didn't say it will be E3. We'll wait until July, August. We'll give you some more about Red Dead, and we own the day or the week.
E3 is the gaming journalist kind of version of that holiday push, and then we all go, well, where was stuff in June? Why didn't you release that title that you thought was going to get lost in the mix and was ready to go in June? Why don't you put it out in June? Why'd you hold it until October, November, December? Because you thought it'd be the impulse buy when everybody's out doing their holiday shopping. You probably could have at least doubled your profits if you just would have put it out when nothing else is coming out. So that's the thing with E3. Why are you all announcing the same 4-day period when if EA did April and Activision did May and then Ubisoft did June? Every month we could have a mini E3, but it would last over a good portion of the year.
My dick couldn't handle that. An E3
Well,
all year long.
you wouldn't have your plans for your sleepover and all that stuff, but you still get the
Would we
point.
sleep over all year long? We'll sleep over here.
So I don't play games anymore.
I think that's a debate for another time.
Yeah.
Of what
So
E3 has come to be. So over that in perspective, fuck E3. This is the strategy. But now is the world that we live in.
If I had to maintain those
The strategy,
boundaries.
that was the question. You
So,
answered it.
I like Mo's idea. Start with Battlefront 2. I would then quickly hit with one of the sports titles, so NBA Live or Madden. Then I would go into probably Need for Speed, would make kind of sense. I'd hit Shadow of Mordor. I would maybe tease a little bit something of the development of the Star Wars stuff, because I don't know if they're ready to announce too much.
Yeah.
I would hit a little bit of, because it sounds like maybe Dragon Age might be announced, or it could just be the leak.
Yeah.
We know whatever that's not the Dylan project, so there's something that BioWare has to announce. You got a couple other little things that you can throw in there, and then you would cycle back again and hit another big sports title, whatever the opposite one that you hadn't done in the first segment. And I say the mic drop is you announce whatever the BioWare Star Wars project is, whether it's KOTOR, it's a reboot, a sequel, whatever, and you just put up a logo on it. It said KOTOR 3, you drop the mic, you're done, you won the weekend, and it just started. So
Yeah, I think that's my biggest problem with the E3 is the sports segment. It's just I feel it so drags on forever, and I'm just.
And
like,
They sell a lot, Madden and FIFA.
But the game is going to
were
sell
huge
regardless, and
Right.
it's the same game every year, so who cares who's on the cover, because it doesn't matter. Those guys are still going to buy it. Just
But
like me with Assassin's
but
Creed.
They
you know?
they interview them for the whole time. Like,
Yeah,
stop the
and
interview,
it is
just-
a very awkward interview.
Just, and I feel like, hey, what did you do? How did you score that goal? I don't know how I scored that goal, but I will be on the new game.
It is. That's a very good
You know, like what?
interpretation.
Like just ask them, hey, cool. So say something for the fans. Make it quick. Don't freaking like drag it on for a huge interview.
Or even better, because
For
a lot of those
FIFA.
guys
Oh my
are
God.
a lot of those guys are players, video game players. So how about this? Have the demo have one of the designers versus some running back,
Yeah.
and he's sitting there, and they're like, "Oh, we got Terrell Owens is here,"
And have him do lots of
Playing.
practice backstage
Yeah.
before, so he doesn't look like a dumbass.
Or have someone that actually know what the fuck they're doing, and then invite those athletes.
Hell,
'Cause-
run a contest and be like, "This is the Madden 17 player, or the whatever 16 or whatever player, that won our contest. He's gonna take on so and so."
Yeah, I don't like the interviews.
I
Like
can
the whole
see that.
FIFA one, the whole interview dragged on, and I was like, okay.
Well, the worst is when it's an English language one, and then
Yeah.
everybody else. That's why the Nintendo thing I don't think works, is because they either are badly dubbed, or we sit there politely as they speak in Japanese, and only 1% of the audience understands it, and then afterwards they all tell us, "Oh, Mr. Miyamoto told us that he really likes playing the flute." Okay, I don't know how that relates, but thanks for updating us.
Yeah. That's why I kind of appreciate it when they, even though it did fix itself kind of sort of, but they had kind of a backlash for Street Fighter. The guy's Japanese only, but he had a translator right there with him. Okay, and he could say a couple words in English. He said, "I appreciate everybody who," because if you remember, Street Fighter was going to be no more. They didn't have any backing from Capcom. They couldn't get enough money for it.
Yep.
The funding, it was PlayStation that kind of said,
It was exclusive. Yeah.
we'll give you the money and we'll do this. Great. And then they announced it, and they said they're going to have a tournament that day at E3. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. He didn't talk forever. He just said, "Look, I appreciate you." He came out to say his appreciation.
Yeah.
You know, and yes, it did have a little bit of a slow, very rugged start that people backlashed on it. But it's fixed now, and now it's a top contender for Evo, which
Actually has a story, so it's
Yeah.
like the Destiny 2, but it's all in
Yeah.
one game.
But they fixed it. You know, it took them some time, but you know.
Only a year. What's the big deal?
So EA start off with Battlefront 2 single player. That is my focus for the press conference. Is the single player
That was
campaign.
their biggest complaint. So address it, show it.
And that's my main
you want to do
focus.
celebrities? Bring out a couple of the stars of that.
That will be my only focus for the press conference, because my EA Play behind closed doors, I'll have IGN, I'll have those media come in and do the
Right.
multiplayer, but I will talk nothing about multiplayer. I will start out with the single player campaign.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing
It's
for
the same
real.
great multiplayer you love with
Yeah.
some even better enhancements, but we want to tell you all
Yeah.
about the
All
single
about
player.
the
Tiny
single player.
cutscenes, not too long.
Yeah.
Tiny.
Yeah, single player campaign. I actually love your idea about with the sports athletes. No fucking athletes. Show off the games. It's EA, I understand.
Yeah.
Show off. And then do a Star Wars reel of all these games we're supposedly making with Respawn. We'll see. In the middle, come up with the BioWare game, that new IP. Show it off. Hopefully, again, if I was running things, if I knew Mass Effect was a clusterfuck for the last year, if I knew that this is going to be a fuck job,
If
Well-
they announced DLC for it, that's a step in the right direction where you can maybe reel back some of that bad.
this is how I would have closed it, and I'm stealing your. Well, this was my idea, but
Yeah.
is knowing that Mass Effect Andromeda was going to be a clusterfuck, as in this is going to be a shit show.
Yeah.
Start making KOTOR 3 last year. Have a studio. All right, let's do KOTOR 3, which is where Mass Effect started in the first place. Was the same creators from KOTOR.
That's why they didn't do the second one.
They exactly, because they did Mass Effect. So it goes first circle, get the team back, do KOTOR 3. I know they've been wanting to do it in the show. It won't come out until next holiday, 2018.
Just that's the way that BioWare wins us back, is they
Yeah.
basically go and they
We're
announce
going back
which-
to our roots.
As long as they say it's not BioWare Montreal, then
Yeah.
everybody goes, "Whew, it's
Yeah.
BioWare," because that's the thing,
Yeah.
is that's why they need to shut it, is because it's so radioactive now. I don't want them to, any of those people lose their jobs. But as long as they're associated with BioWare Montreal, it's going to be a shit show. Not because they can't do it, but everybody's going to think that they can't do it. So put them on other projects, split up that team, keep them all employed, but shutter that department officially, and then it never gets referenced again. Even open up another one, but call it something else. Call it BioWare, and then whatever street in Montreal it's on. Whatever.
But in the show, knowing that Mass Effect, they've been having some issues, been delays.
Yeah.
Like, all right, let's start making KOTOR 3. There's already been some rumors about it. Start of.
But they've been working for 18 months, yeah.
Wait, do I think that's going to happen? No. We'll get into predictions. What I think they will close the show with. But if I was running, I would have started making KOTOR 3 last year, because just delaying the
They're separate
inevitable.
teams. Somebody's been
was
working on
Mass
something. It wasn't
Effect.
Dylan, and it wasn't Mass Effect,
Yeah.
and it wasn't Dragon Age. So
To
there's something out
use
there.
That Star Wars license, again, there's a lot of Star Wars games. Is take advantage while it's hot right now. KOTOR 3 has that following. People want it.
Well, EA is the exclusive, so it makes sense that they put all their studios to do something on it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we don't have another pod racing thing with the people that do Need for Speed.
Should.
Just
I
milk it.
really enjoy that, yeah.
It's one of the biggest movies of all time. You might as well milk that sucker.
As long as Jar Jar's in it. He's a secret character.
Long bad racing. We all want it, don't we?
Well, that was our strategies for the EA press conference this year. Please let us know what your strategy would be if you're running the show.